Shinobi vlog. Okay, back in the kitchen. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to cook rice. Because a lot of people don't know how to cook rice, and it's kind of important that you know how to cook rice. What you need is rice. And some water. But also for you fat fanboys that like to eat fat in order to lose fat, you can add some butter or you can add some oil. This will stop the rice from sticking, but it shouldn't stick anyway if you do it this way. So here's what we do. Easiest method, you need a pot and a lid. So I usually do it by eye because I'm a professional, but if you're not a professional, we want 2 to 1. So 1 cup of rice. So then we add, this is enough for 2 people by the way, 2 cups of water. So 1 cup, 2 cups. If you were a geisha girl or Japanese, you'd probably wash it 17 times. Here's what I tend to do. If you look in that pot, there's about a thumbnail of water over the rice, like near enough an inch. And this method, this is what I use when I put the rice in. What I generally do is I go 1 inch over the rice of water. So it doesn't matter how big the container, how wide the container, that usually works for me. So I don't usually do 2 to 1, I just do it by eye. So I put the rice in, whatever the size of the container, usually a thumbnail or an inch of water above, and that's it. If you want to be, you can either add butter, this will stop it from separating too, or olive oil. So I have something on the pan here already, we're not going to deal with that today, it's for later. Oh, and then I just put it on full. We're on already, so put it on full and let that boil. Now the other thing I want to tell you is, just a little out of thing here. What does that look like to you? To me it looks like a lime, but apparently it's a tangerine. Right, so they're not always orange. This is actually ripe, but it's a green, it's organic, it's non-genetically modified. So sometimes what you buy is not always what you think it is. So that's, I was going to put that in that dish, but that's it. So look, you're going to bring that to boil. And then okay, so we're starting to get a bit of a boil here. So if you look at the pan, this is starting to boil. Now here's the secret of this. I only need to stir this once, and this is the main important thing. So I give it a good stir, and this is coming to the boil. So make sure there's nothing sticking to the pot. So that's all jammed up. Now this will continue to boil. If I put the lid on this, what's going to happen is, if I put that on now, what's going to happen is that's going to froth up and it's going to come out and go all over your cooker. So what I do now is I turn it down to about halfway, okay, and I'll just give that a second to settle. The other thing I want to say is white rice. So I'm cooking white rice. If you're an athlete or you want to be the best athlete you can be, you should be eating brown rice. It's horrible, it's not nice. When I was cycling I used to take it, it makes a difference. What white rice is basically, brown rice is the way it comes out of the ground and it's buffed and rubbed together, so all the outside skin comes off and you're left with the white rice. But on that outside skin is B vitamins, fibre, and a lot of good stuff that you're throwing away. If you want to dip your foot into the brown rice realm easy, try Uncle Ben's rice. It's actually really nice. You can get it boiled in a bag, and it tastes not like cardboard. This stuff, if you see what I mean now, Candy, we're just going to give that 1 more stir just to make sure everything's okay. It's perfect. I'm going to bring that down to a low heat, and then I'm going to put the lid on, but I'm going to leave a little bit off, just a little bit, so a little bit of steam can get out. And I'm just going to leave that like that, and I'll show you what it comes back to in a minute. If you're a believer of, like Dave Asprey believes that white rice is better than brown rice because the brown rice has an inbuilt defense system which is on the external part, like a pesticide that can stop animals from, insects from eating the actual rice. I don't believe that, and the facts, that just because he says it doesn't mean it's true. The facts are, you will go faster, you'll get better performance if you eat brown rice. I just eat white rice, it's tastier. Okay, now that's going to boil for about 10 to 12 minutes. And you'll see what it looks like in a couple of minutes. When the moisture goes away, you're going to get little pit holes, and it's starting to stick to the end of the pan, and then we just take it off the heat, put the lid on fully, and that's it. We're perfect fluffy rice. So we'll come back to that in a couple of minutes. Okay, so the rice has been on for 10 to 12 minutes. So what I do is I take it off the heat, and this is what you end up with. It just started to stick. If you look, there's little holes there, and it just started to stick. So I just tested it to see was it sticking. And when you put the lid on, take it off for about 2-3 minutes, the steam comes back up, takes it off the end of the pot, even if it sticks a little bit. Anyway to go. So a couple of little serving suggestions. This is the way I sometimes do if I want to impress people. Just put it into a cup. So you got your few scoops. Pat that down nicely. And then just bring it to the plate. And there you go, it's like being in a restaurant. So with that, I'm going to have a little bit of chicken. Here's one I prepared earlier. I'll show you some of this chicken with cabbage and mushrooms. Some black beans in that as well. And then also, I have some greens. Broccoli. The broccoli is just boiled for a couple of minutes. I put a little bit of butter in it and a bit of salt. And there you go. I'll show you how to make the other stuff some other time. But this one was basically for the rice. Try it if you like it. See you tomorrow.